Good morning everyone and welcome to Dan's Diary. Rather than do a house video, which is what I normally do, I'm going to talk to you today about Rolex watches and why some people are being forced down the avenue to buy illegal Superclones. So before we start this video, I would like to say that I did some investigation on this phenomena and I rang some authorised dealers, which are the only place where you can buy an authorised watch, Rolex watch from, to find out if they had any stock. So the countries I rang were Hong Kong, Vietnam, and I rang more than one dealer in these countries, Dubai and Abu Dhabi, Qatar. I've got a few friends in the UK, so they must have rang about 4 or 5 and visited. France, more on that later. I live in the Philippines, so I contacted 4 in the Philippines. Australia, and a friend of mine went to Las Vegas and he went into a dealership in Las Vegas. Do you know what? Every single one said, go away. We have no stock. And even if we had stock, we wouldn't sell to you. We're looking for the high worth people to come into this shop, not some guy off the street who's a tourist or whatever. Oh dear me, the snobbery value almost made me cry. I never thought I'd see the day when dealers are turning down money, but we are. And that's worldwide, because I've covered the world, from Australia to America and every continent in between. So why are they doing this? Why are the dealerships turning against Rolex? Because that's what it is. Because it's when you buy a Rolex, you buy from the authorised dealers. My goodness me, even the guarantee card is via the authorised dealers. You have no contact, absolutely no contact with Rolex. You've got no phone number for problems, no email address, no nothing. You only deal with the authorised dealers. You can't even ring anybody up. You can't talk to them. You can't see their premises, their factory. You can't get in there because they won't let you in. And that goes for not only the likes of us, but for the film stars as well. They're not allowed in. Just the authorised dealers. Crazy, man, crazy. So Rolex have said, I don't want anything to do with the public. Not interested. I'm really not interested. I'll deal with the authorised dealers. So when when COVID hit 3 or 4 years ago, was it? No one's going in the shops. So the French authorised dealers contacted Rolex and said, excusez-moi, I want to sell on the internet and mail order. Is that okay? And Rolex said, no it isn't, refer to your contract. And the bit in their contract that Rolex are referring to, which has been knocking about for 10 plus years I might add, there's one particular clause, if I can find it, here we go. We confirm that under no circumstances can our authorised retailers, who are the only parties authorised to sell our products, do so via the internet or mail order. Full stop. Kind of put the French ADs back in their hole, didn't it? Well, French ADs weren't going to take this line down. Oh, no, no. So they said to Rolex 3-4 years ago, we're claiming restricted practice. We're claiming unfair competition. And anyway, it's not your watch to sell. We bought the watches off you. We're selling the watches. It's us. We're selling the watches. Well, they went to court and the French Trade Authority sided with the French authorised dealers. It's not Rolex watches. They've sold them on. The minute the AD gets them, according to the French Trade Authority, they're second hand. They can do with them what they like, regardless of the contract that they signed. So they fined them, didn't they? 91.6 million euros they fined them. Almost $100 million. Oh, Rolex didn't like that. That was last month when that happened. Oh, no, Rolex didn't like that. So Rolex are now thinking what they can do. There's no way they're going to pay it. No way on earth. If only out of principle they won't pay it. I, personally speaking, they've got several options, and the one I think they're going to go down is Rolex can see which way the wind blows. Prestige watches, the prices are going like this on the retail side. No one's buying. No one's buying watches. That's the demand curve. Sorry, the demand curve is not a curve, it's a cliff, and they're falling off it. Rolex just increases their prices by between 4 and 6% last month. And the authorised dealers aren't selling them. You can't buy a Rolex from any authorised dealer. I urge you to find one and tell me where you can get a GMT Master 2 from an authorised dealer. Try and find one in your local branch. I'll bet you get turned away. And it's not that you're going not wearing a suit, it's the fact they haven't got any stock. Because Rolex sell the authorised dealers not per watch, but they sell them a series of watches, from the date justs through to the Submariners, through to the GMTs and the da-di-da-di-da, up to the big one. You can't just pick and choose if you're a dealer. Rolex have got that sewn up, so they have to buy the whole lot, which is why their expensive ones are in the window, because they've had to buy them. They wouldn't buy them otherwise. They'd buy the ones that they know are going to sell. The Submariners, the date justs, the GMTs, they're the ones that sell. These horrendously expensive ones, they just sit in the window. No one's buying them. People have got mortgages. People have got people are losing their jobs. The high-end worth people have already got one. They don't want 2 or 3. What's the point? You can't flip them anymore because the flippies aren't buying them because they can't sell them at the price they want to. Look at any graph that you like on the internet. The second-hand value is doing that. It really is. It's the lowest it's been in almost a year, 2 years. It's not good if you're trying to get rid of your watch. Not good if you want to buy one, because you can't buy one from the AD. So what do? Some people, against their will, are being forced to go down the Superclone route. I can see why. if you want one and you can't buy one from the authorised dealer and you can't buy a second-hand one, I'll save myself $10,000 and buy a Superclone for $1,000. That's what some people are thinking. Well, are they getting a good deal? Yes or no? Well, let's look at it as in terms of a watch, shall we? As a watch, it's deemed to tell the time. Well, an automatic watch doesn't tell the time, does it? It loses time or it gains time. It's not accurate by any record. Is it accurate? You've only got three choices of watches anyway. You've got the quartz watch, million different styles, million different brands, accurate to within, I'm going to say, 2 seconds a year, maybe one. Everyone's got one. If you're starting out, you get a quartz. Everyone knows that. It's not a surprise to anyone. The big boys, Seiko and whatever, they make quartz watches, and some of them look absolutely stunning. I kid you not. If you're still on the accuracy kick, which is what a watch is all about, you can go the GPS route, can't you? I've got a GPS route watch, stunning, accurate to within a zillionth of a second a year, because it gets its message from the satellites. That's why it's called GPS. So you go outside, the watch beams up to Scotty, Scotty beams down the time, and it's accurate. It's going to be accurate. It's atomic accurate, isn't it? That's where the atomic clock comes from. It's all these satellites zipping around telling you the time. Well, that goes to your watch. That shows you how accurate it is. And it's not like it does it once a year. It does it every time you go outside. Ding, 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 ding. It's getting information on accuracy. You can't beat it. You can't beat it. And some of the designs on those GPS watches, absolutely gorgeous. So I can see a time when everyone will have one. I really can. Because, and I'll come to this a bit later, because you only buy a watch for 2 reasons: to show off to your mates and for the time. And you want an accurate time, you don't want something stupid like an automatic watch that gains or loses anything up to 10 seconds a day. I think the best the Rolex has ever done is 2 or 3 seconds a day. What good is that if you want an accurate watch? Huh? That's what, 40 seconds, that's like, it could be 30 seconds a week. And over a month, that's what, it's minutes wrong. And then you've got to pull the winder out, get an accurate clock, maybe your mobile phone or an Astron or whatever it is, a GPS one anyway, or maybe a $2 quartz watch, and you set your $11,000 watch to the time on that $2 quartz watch. That's how stupid it all is. The mechanism, it can't make it any better. So it'll always be that accurate. So I can foresee a time when they suddenly say, I'll tell you what, it's had its day. It's had 250 years of being perfected. We cannot get it any more accurate than what it is. Let's consign it to the history books. It's had its day. Bring in the old satellite time in and have a look at my GPS watch. That's what it's going to be. It's my theory. Maybe wrong, I've been wrong before. But if you think about it, the people that are buying automatic watches today, the people that don't care if it's accurate or not, aren't buying it for time, are they? So what they're buying it for? The name? They've been brainwashed into, I own a Rolex, I own a Patek. They've been brainwashed into that. They've been brainwashed into history saying, I tell you what, if I buy a watch today for 11,000, in a year it's going to be worth more money. It's going to be worth more. I'll buy them for a collection. Well, you might as well put your money on the roulette wheel, pal. Because look at any graph. Watches of a prestige nature are doing this at the minute for retail price. There's no demand. It's going down. You cannot make money on a second-hand watch anymore. The people are realising this as well. You could go into an AD, buy a watch and then flip it straight away. Sell it to one of these watch dealers who then advertise it for more than they bought it for, and then just sit it in the shop window and wait until someone buys it. Well, they're not anymore. We've got a thing called inflation, high interest rates, people are getting married, people have got more important things to do than spend money over recommended retail price on a watch. They've got cars, job, food, kids, mortgages to pay, and they're not buying watches. Look at any graph, please, I implore you, look at any graph that shows you it's doing this at the minute. So that's talked about the advantages of, or disadvantages of why people buy it. So let's talk about the practicalities of it. You bang your $10,000 watch on a brick wall, or someone, or you nick it on the car, or something happens to it. You bang it on a door frame as you walk through. We've all done that. You're going to wish you hadn't done that if you've got an $11,000 watch. You are really going to be upset with yourself. But if you've bought a cheaper watch that looks the same, like a Superclone, are you bothered? Really, are you bothered? You're not. Still telling the same time, it's still inaccurate, but you're not bothered. So it's a tad more practical, isn't it? In fact, if you think about it, it's practical in every single way, more than an expensive Rolex. I blame the ADs, particularly the French ones, who started this whole mess and have sued Rolex. And they won, didn't they? $100 million. $100 million. I don't know what they're going to do with the money. Maybe find another job, because I can see Rolex saying enough's enough. Enough's enough. Don't care anymore. I'll sell direct. That could be a problem for you, my boy. You may have shot yourself in the foot. If Rolex cancelled all their ADs worldwide, because they're not selling, so what's the point in having them? If they cancelled every single one when the contract expires, I tell you what, Rolex have already bought one dealership, haven't they? Can't remember the name of it. You can find it on the internet, which will be selling Rolex watches as well as everything else. If they decide to go down the internet and mail order route themselves, direct with Rolex, well, think of the money they'd save. You'd no longer have to pay a percentage of profit to the ADs. It's all in-house. Well, what can I tell you? I don't condone buying a Superclone at all. Never have. Never have. I don't want anyone complaining that I'm advocating selling Rolex Superclones, because I'm not. Want to get that very, very clear. But if you sit in your armchair and look out in the world, you will see why some people think it's a good idea. And then you might be tempted to think, well, I'll go and buy a different brand. I'll buy a Seiko or a Tag or whatever it is. But that's defeating the object. You want a Rolex. You don't want a Seiko. They're nice, but I don't want one. I want a Rolex. And I'm being forced, against my will, to look at an alternative. Where's my human rights in all this? I want one. I go to the ADs who are supposed to be looking after me. They tell me to go away. They say I'm not good enough to own a Rolex, so I'll go somewhere else. But I still want a Rolex. So what am I going to do? And people are going down the Superclone route. Thank you very much for listening to this absolute drivel. I've enjoyed it, and I hope you are healthy, wealthy and wise. Take care, everybody.